You born and raised in Abbotsford, and you are a doctor professionally. Why you chose to go in politics?
Unfortunately, I get a lot of complaints. There's a lot of things, for instance, about the highway, wanting federal funding for that, about the hospital being too small, wanting federal funding for that. I support it wholeheartedly. I'm so proud to be a Liberal candidate. I already was, but once I saw the platform, even more so. I'm so happy about this $10 a day childcare because there's a lot of families that, especially during the pandemic, we found out that they didn't have childcare and that issue came forward.
So how they will handle pipelines and the environment both on one track?
Is they're providing incentives to put additions on people's homes so they can keep their parents at home or the parents can live with their grandkids. I just love that.
ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਨਮਸਕਾਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਸਾਂਝਾ ਟੀਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਹਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਅਰਸ਼ਦੀਪ ਡਿਸੀਜਨ 2021 ਫੈਡਰਲ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨਸ ਸਤੰਬਰ 20th ਨੂੰ ਨੇ ਲਿਬਰਲਸ ਕੰਜ਼ਰਵੇਟਿਵਸ ਗ੍ਰੀਨ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਐਨਡੀਪੀ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਪਲੇਟਫਾਰਮ ਰਿਲੀਜ਼ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਨੇ ਲਿਬਰਲਸ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਆਪਣਾ ਪਲੇਟਫਾਰਮ ਰਿਲੀਜ਼ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਤੇ ਲਿਬਰਲਸ ਦੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੇ ਨਵੇਂ ਕੈਂਡੀਡੇਟ ਵੀ ਮੈਦਾਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਤਾਰੇ ਗਏ ਨੇ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੱਕ ਹੈ ਐਬਸਫੋਰਡ ਰਾਈਡਿੰਗ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਨਵਰੀਨ ਗਿੱਲ ਅੱਗੇ ਆਏ ਨੇ ਲਿਬਰਲਸ ਦੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਬੋਰਨ ਐਂਡ ਰੇਜ਼ਡ ਇਨ ਦ ਐਬਸਫੋਰਡ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਨੇ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਫਿਜ਼ੀਸ਼ੀਅਨ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਵਰਕ ਟੂ ਐਕਿਊਟ ਕੇਅਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਦੋਂ ਕੋਵਿਡ-19 ਦੇ ਪੇਸ਼ੈਂਟ ਸੀਗੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਕੋਵਿਡ-19 ਦਾ ਇੰਨਾ ਵੱਡਾ ਮਹਾਮਾਰੀ ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਘੇਰਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀ ਉਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੰਮ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੋਰ ਕੀ ਕੁਝ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ ਕਿਉਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਲਿਬਰਲ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਨੂੰ ਚੁਣਿਆ ਲਿਬਰਲਸ ਦਾ ਪਲੇਟਫਾਰਮ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਇਸ ਸਭ ਬਾਰੇ ਅੱਜ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਨਵਰੀਨ ਗਿੱਲ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਹੋਵੇਗੀ ਸ਼ੀ ਇਜ਼ ਇਨ ਦ ਸਟੂਡੀਓ ਲੈਟਸ ਵੈਲਕਮ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਗਿੱਲ ਵੈਲਕਮ
Hi there.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
First of all, let me know about the election campaign. How's it going?
It's going really well. I'm getting a lot of positive feedback and it's great knocking on doors every single day. I love meeting everyone from Abbotsford.
Very nice. And how many volunteers is working with you right now?
We have a lot, but we could always use more. So please let us know if you want to volunteer for our campaign.
If you are living in Abbotsford, first of all.
Of course. Well, if not, we'll still accept you actually.
So Dr. Navreen, as I told you, born and raised in Abbotsford, and you are a doctor professionally. Why you chose to go in politics?
So I've always wanted to help people. That's why I became a doctor. But I have to say, during the pandemic, I was working in the hospital because there was a physician shortage. And I was extremely impressed with how the Liberals handled it, how they got us through it. And I don't think anyone could have done a better job than Justin Trudeau. And it inspired me to run because there's a lot of problems doctors can't solve. 50% of my patients' problems, I can't solve their government issues. And I think the Liberals do a great job of helping those people. They're a proactive government, so they're always thinking about what's next. They don't think about the election. What can I say I'll give people right now? They're thinking about 20 years from now, sade bacche kidda hoge with their childcare, etc. So that's why I'm running for them.
So you are running for the very first time. How's your experience so far?
I'm having a great time. I love talking to people because I feel like when I'm talking to the constituents of Abbotsford, it's just like my regular job. Because you just want to talk to people, you want to know what they need. That's exactly what a doctor does.
So how many things you get to know from them? कि उन्होंने किहड़ियां मुश्किलां आ रही what they're facing from the previous government? Because right now there was a conservative MP who is working for the people. How many complaints you get?
Unfortunately, I get a lot of complaints. There's a lot of things, for instance, about the highway, wanting federal funding for that, about the hospital being too small, wanting federal funding for that. Luckily, the Liberals actually did provide that to Langley. So I'm thinking that if we advocate a lot for it, strongly we can get that for Abbotsford as well. It's a long time coming.
So, Mr. Trudeau, he announced the platform for 2021. You
Yes.
support that?
I support it wholeheartedly. I'm so proud to be a Liberal candidate. I already was, but once I saw the platform, even more so.
So 2021 ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਡੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ economy ਨੂੰ ਵਾਪਸ track ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਲਾ ਕੇ ਆਉਣਾ ਹੈ. So what's the plan for the economy?
So their plan is to invest money, create jobs, and also keep people happy because they'll have a job and they'll contribute to different things like childcare we'll have jobs in, we'll have jobs in the environment. They want to get more doctors and nurses. If they put money into the economy, it'll come back to us over time.
So as you are a doctor, tell us more about childcare. They announced $10 per day childcare for each family.
Yes.
So how it will help the families in Abbotsford?
I'm so happy about this $10 a day childcare because there's a lot of families that, especially during the pandemic, we found out that they didn't have childcare, and that issue came forward in the pandemic even more so. And what's important to me is that childcare evens the playing field for everybody because it's going to be equal across boards. And studies show that if a child is very well supported when they're a child, they're a more productive member of society, and on the health we both vadiya nikaldiya rather than otherwise. Yes.
So platform ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਨੇ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਅਲੱਗ-ਅਲੱਗ define ਕੀਤਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਜਿਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ environment is one thing. So when we're talking about liberals, they're agreed to build pipelines, as you know, and then environment is on the another side. So how they will handle pipelines and the environment both on one track?
That's a great question. So the reason they bought that pipeline is because it's safer to transfer oil through the pipeline. The thing is that we can't just cut off jobs to oil and gas, etc., right away. We'll be putting a lot of people out of a job. We'll be putting the country in danger economically, etc. So they have a slow but steady plan to get us on track to not be dependent on gas, not be dependent on oil, not be dependent on coal, etc., over time. But I don't think it would be fair to suddenly take that all away from a lot of people.
And now we will talk about seniors. There are announcements about the seniors too, and you work with many seniors throughout the pandemic, and before the pandemic you were a family doctor as well. So what's government is doing for our seniors?
So I'm so happy about their announcement. So one of the things they're doing is they're providing incentives to put additions on people's homes so they can keep their parents at home, or the parents can live with their grandkids. I just love that. And the other thing is that they want to get more home care available that's better trained so that people get better care. I'm very happy that they thought about that and they had a plan for that. Lastly, they want to provide more money yearly to seniors because they don't have enough, essentially. That's
So money ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਾਉਣ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਹਰ ਚੀਜ਼ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਵਧੀਆ ਟਰੈਕ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਹੋਵੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਇੱਕ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਪੈਂਡੈਮਿਕ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ when we talk about pandemic we have to get resources from different countries around the world, so there is no manufacturing for the we can say vaccine or anything. So what government will do if they will re-elected in 2021 regarding that issue?
That's a great question again. So they already have. So we have a vaccine plant that we're already setting up, and we will be proficient in making our own vaccines in Canada very soon.
How important is that?
It's extremely important. As we saw, although they did a great job, Canadians were stressed. Where are we going to get our vaccines? We're dependent on other people. It's extremely important that we make them at home. That way we're not dependent on anyone else, that we feel safe.
You're not now talking about safety. Let's talk about safety, guns and gangs. That's a big issue for our community and whole communities around the world and across Canada, we can say. So what will be the Liberal plan in 2021 to make the streets safe?
So they're getting very strong on gun control. It's very important to them because they've seen what's happened in Canada over the past few years, and they want to get assault weapons off the streets, and I think that's very important to send, and also to send that strong message that we want Canada to be safe and we will take steps to do that right away.
So some people ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ rules change ਹੋਣੇ ਚਾਹੀਦੇ ਆ, laws change ਹੋਣੇ ਚਾਹੀਦੇ ਆ, and government is talking about the putting more money to hold resources ਜਿਹੜੇ provide ਕਰਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ. But you think ਕਿ rules and regulations must change and there should be a strict regulations?
On guns, yes, there should be, and the Liberals are doing that, and I'm very happy about that because violence appears to be increasing in Canada, and it's time we took a stand to it.
And racism is increasing from last year. I can say from America when George Floyd died, and after the wave came, and then a pandemic came, and then there are more racial, we can say, accidents, we can say. So, ਉਹਦੇ ਲਈ ਕੀ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਦੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ, and what will the government do when they re-elect?
So, the biggest thing is that they brought a bill forward for Islamophobia. It didn't pass, but they want that to pass, and they're going to bring it forward again. It's very important that we, once again, take a stand to that, and the Liberal government has. They saw that as an issue, and they put forward an action.
What's government's stand on Afghanistan crisis?
They want to help as much as they can. They have helped as much as they can. It's a very complex situation. We have to talk to our neighbors, America, and also our allies, England, etc. But we want to help the Afghanistan people that helped us, and we should.
So, Dr. Gill will talk about housing now, affordability.
Yes.
Many people are coming to Canada, as we can say, कि जे सिर्फ सड़ी Abbotsford दी गल करिए ਤਾਂ every month there are many people are coming, migrating here and living here, but they can't afford housing, and they need affordable housing as well. So, what's the plan for housing for 2021?
So, the Liberals recognize that affordable housing should be a right, not a privilege, and they have created a plan to do that. So what they've done is they're going to make more affordable homes so that we have more supply. They're also going to make sure that there are certain rules and regulations to prevent homes from going up to these incredible prices that hardly anyone can afford, such as they want to be tougher on house flipping. They want to make sure that there are strong rules when you're even buying a home. For instance, blind bidding. That's a scary thing that someone sitting wherever, who knows, can just bid on a house without even seeing it. It drives up the prices. So I like that they are, first of all, addressing the supply, but they're also addressing how to make sure that the prices stay controlled.
And I forgot one thing in healthcare, mental health. They provide funding for mental health as well.
Yes.
So what's the plan for mental health? Because right now people are saying after pandemic, people will suffer with mental issues.
Yes, so they're providing funding to provinces to get more mental health resources out there. It will be up to us how we go ahead and use that. But I think it's very important that they are recognizing that and they are supporting provinces to make sure that their citizens are taken care of. Because mental health, as a doctor, I can say it doesn't just affect one person, it affects the whole family and it affects generations to come. So it's very important that we address it.
So Dr. Gill, in Platform 2021, Mr. Trudeau, they mentioned about equality. What do you think about equality exists in Canada or around the community?
I think that we need more equality. We need more equality between women and men. We need more equality for minorities. And I really appreciate that the Liberal government recognizes that we need diversity because diversity makes our country strong.
If we'll talk about immigration, so that's ਇਹ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਇੱਕ ਉਹ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਦੋਂ family reunification ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ as a student ਆਉਂਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਹਾਂ, so it's a very sensitive issue for us as well. So immigration ਦੇ ਲਈ oppositions, they're like they're ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਜਿਹੜੇ rules ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ relax ਕੀਤੇ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ, so more strict ਹੋਣੇ ਚਾਹੀਦੇ ਆ. What's your take on immigration? Because government is promising more people are coming in next year if they will re-elect.
So immigration is very important. It's important for our economy. We need people to come here, flourish, get jobs, help businesses, start their own businesses, just make our economy flourish. So I believe that the Liberal government is doing wonderful by knowing that immigration is an important item and that we should be pro-immigration.
So as I said, Ed Fast, who is MP last election, what things he didn't do that you want to do if you will re-elect from Abbotsford riding?
So there are many things. So we need the highway to be expanded to Abbotsford. It's something that should have been done years ago. It's a provincial issue. However, the federal government has provided funding for the highway expansion in Langley. They've also provided funding for the SkyTrain, which is just incredible. So we need that in Abbotsford. People are waiting too long in their cars to get to their families, and it's a very important issue. And he's been the MP now for quite some time, and I don't even know if he's advocated for it. I've never heard him say anything. So that's very important to me. The other thing is that really worries me about EDFAS and generally the Conservatives is that they cut federal funding every time they're in power for healthcare. And our hospital in Abbotsford is already too small. We already don't have enough doctors and nurses. And what are we going to do if that happens again? Even Abbotsford Hospital was too small 10 years ago. So that's something we need to advocate for. More federal funding, what the Liberals are actually doing. So I'm happy to be part of their team.
So you're talking about funding. So there are like 78 billion funding will come if Liberals will re-elect in 2021, and then they will spend in economy in different various fields, I can say. And now Liberals, they are already in deficit. How they will balance the budget?
So on their platform, they actually released various measures they're going to do. They're going to, for instance, tax luxury vehicles, boats, etc. They're going to be tougher, very importantly, on tax loopholes so that people are paying their fair share, especially corporations. That's going to help incredibly. Lastly, the way that they've invested the money, the way that their platform is set up, that investment is going to come back to us threefold and actually make the economy flourish. Before the pandemic, actually, we had the lowest unemployment rate. So I think that we're actually quite good with the economy, the Liberals. So I'm confident we'll be okay.
Liberals are saying that's a referendum for them because they did many things for the people when there was a pandemic, and then they supported Canadians, they supported small businesses, they support medium businesses, even the big businesses. So they invested in SIBA, they invested in SERB, and then many more, and then people appreciate it. And that's why maybe because of the minority government and they want to get a majority, that's why they call that election. But when we see the survey says now it's a tough competition between Liberals and Conservatives. What do you think about that?
I think that it's important for the Canadian people to speak for what they want. I think that's why the Liberals called the election. They want to know what Canadians have to think. And I think that we should run a fair race and see what every party has to say. There are new issues, and that's why that election was called. Childcare became even a bigger issue during the pandemic. Senior safety came to the forefront during the pandemic. This was one of the hottest summers on record. It came forward even more during the pandemic. It was important that we called the election, and I'm okay with the fact that it's a tough race. I want to see what Canadian people have to say.
So we talk about Liberals. Now let's talk about Dr. Navreen Gill. If people will ask why Dr. Gill, what will be your answer?
Why am I running and why am I Liberal? Okay, so essentially, I just really care about people. I noticed how much government can change people's lives during the pandemic. I had patients that were suffering so greatly. And when I was able to offer them these resources, even SERB, the relief that I saw on their face, I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of the conversation when we want to help Canadians on a larger scale.
So why they vote you?
I think that people should vote for me because I'm with people when they're most vulnerable as a family doctor. That makes me know what they need. And I think empathy is very important in a politician. Also, I'm a great advocate. I will talk loudly if you need it. If I get frustrated that someone's being treated unfairly, I will fight for you. I think that's why I would say I would make a great MP for Abbotsford.
And what will be your vote appeal to vote for any party? Now you are going to say that vote for Liberals. So what will be your message to the people who are living in Abbotsford riding?
Please actually just vote. I want to see what you have to say. If you vote Liberal, Conservative, or NDP, I'll be happy. But I think it's important for you to speak and let people know what you want in your government. If you vote Liberal, you're voting for health care, you're voting for childcare, you're voting for our future, for our children. The Liberals have a proactive plan, and I'm so proud of their proactive plan because usually parties don't care about 20 years from now, but they care. They care what's going to happen 20 years from now. They care what's going to happen to our country 30 years from now. So please vote, but those are the reasons that you should vote Liberal.
Thank you so much and good luck for the elections. And you are the first one who say go vote anyone.
Yes.
So ਇਹ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਕਿ ਲਿਬਰਲਸ ਦਾ ਵੋਟ ਪਾਓ, ਇਹ ਦੇਖੋ ਕਿ ਕਿਉਂ ਪਾਓ, ਬਟ ਨਾਲ ਦੀ ਨਾਲ ਜਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਵੋਟ ਪਾਓ, go for vote. Every single vote counts. So good luck, best wishes for your election campaign, your riding, and for your future.
Thank you so much. Perfect.
So ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਹੋਈ, Dr. Navreen Gill, who is running from Abbotsford riding. So if you are in Abbotsford, ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਸੇਫ ਹੋਵੇ, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਵਧੀਆ ਹੋਵੇ, ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਦੇਖ ਕੇ ਵੋਟ ਪਾਉਣੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਨਵਰੀਨ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਵਧੀਆ ਜਾਂ ਕੰਜ਼ਰਵੇਟਿਵਸ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਵਧੀਆ ਜਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਲਈ ਲਿਬਰਲਸ ਵਧੀਆ ਜਾਂ ਐਨਡੀਪੀ ਵਧੀਆ, ਕੌਣ ਵਧੀਆ, ਬਟ ਵੋਟ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਪਾਓ ਐਜ਼ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਨਵਰੀਨ ਗਿੱਲ ਸੈਡ, go and participate in voting process. So election ਦੇ ਰਿਗਾਰਡਿੰਗ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਤੱਕ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਇਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਪਹੁੰਚਾਉਂਦੇ ਰਵਾਂਗੇ। ਦੇਖਦੇ ਰਹੋ ਸਾਂਝਾ ਟੀਵੀ ਤੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਅਰਸ਼ਦੀਪ ਨੂੰ ਦਿਓ ਇਜਾਜ਼ਤ। ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ।